Hi, I'm Billy Philo with Masterful Mechanics Baseball. Today's our first ever instructional video. I'm stoked to bring you this content. We're going to be putting out weekly videos, giving you some instructional pointers and ways that you can develop your game and make you into a better ball player. For our pre-throwing warm-up routine. So we're going to have 3 main learning objectives, and these are going to be for each video, 3 objectives, just so you can have a better idea of what you're trying to learn and what you're trying to get out of this video. We don't want to make this like school or anything, but we are here to learn. So our objective today is to establish a consistent pre-throwing warm-up routine. That's number 1. Number 2 is to learn how to utilize bands to help us as baseball and softball players. And number 3 is to activate and engage the larger muscles and smaller ligaments and tendons in your shoulder before actually picking up a baseball and throwing it. So let's get started. Gloves down to start. Okay, we're going to begin with something I'm sure you've seen before. It's just arm circles, but we're going to do them a specific way so we can stay consistent every time. Consistency is key for the game of baseball, especially for your warm-up routine. So we're going to start arms out, straight out, palms down, okay, and start circles small. And you're going to do about 7 or 8 of these to start. And we're going to go medium, 7 or 8, same number, and then large. Back down to medium, keeping that number consistent, 7 or 8 to begin, and then small again. So for a week or 2, I would stick with the 7 to 8, and as you get stronger, then you can move up and increase the volume, 9 or 10, 10, 11, all the way up to 15 reps at each level. So after forward arm circles, we're going to go with reverse. So for reverse, we're going to be palms up. Palms up, backwards, small. Same number, stay consistent, medium, and large. And with these large, try to get as big as possible, the largest circle you can. Medium. And again, try to keep your hands up high, and then small. So try to keep your shoulders back and up. Okay, and that wraps up our arm circles. And now you might want to start throwing, and I know I do too, but we're still not ready. So after the arm circles, we're going to move into band work. So you can either utilize a band like this, which is your typical Jaeger band. And as you'll see, our band program is very similar to the Jaeger band program. I think it's a great way to strengthen and develop your arm as a baseball player. And I do the Jaeger band program myself. So you can either use Jaeger bands or the knockoff version if you just have a regular TheraBand. Okay, the only thing I ask is that you have 2 handles here. 2 handles, so then you can put it through the fence like this. I'll show you. I'm going to use the Jaeger band, but I'll show you how you can use a TheraBand. Equal amount of length on each side. So for each handle, have an equal amount of pull. Okay, so we're going to use the Jaeger band. First exercise is just tricep extension. So have your foot out like you're throwing forward. Arms up here by your ears. And for our reps, we're going to go straight out. 1, bring it back nice and slow. 2, bring it back nice and slow. Pause. 3, 4, okay, all the way up to your desired number of repetitions. For kids 12 and under, I would start with maybe 6 to 8 reps, and as they get stronger, they can progress and do more repetitions. And then for anyone 12 and over, I would start with 9 or 10 reps, and again, as you get stronger, you can increase the volume and all the way up to 15 reps for each exercise. So our next exercise is actually just a stretch. So arms straight up. Again, your foot out like you're throwing forward, left or right, depending on what hand you are. And we're just going to lean to the side. 5 seconds on each side. Lean to the other side. And you'll feel a stretch in your back and your obliques. Okay, then back to the left. 5 seconds. Right, 5 seconds for 3 times total on each side. Okay, our next exercise is forward flies. So we're going to have our arms straight out from our body, okay, perpendicular to our body. Again, with your step foot out front. Start it to the side, arms straight, bring them forward, touch out front. Bring it back nice and slow. And repeat for the desired amount of repetitions. Keeping that same number of repetitions consistent for each exercise. So after forward flies, we're going to do reverse flies. And as you'll see with a lot of these exercises, we're going to do the forward version first and then the backwards version. So that's where that we engage all of the larger muscles and smaller tendons and ligaments in the front of our shoulder and then the back of our shoulder. We need each side equally strong. So reverse flies, straight out ahead. You're going to bring your arms back and keeping them straight the whole time. Pause here for about a second. Bring it back slow. That's 1. Pause here. 2. Nice and slow. Slow is key. 4. The slower you go, the more you're actually going to engage the muscles that we're trying to reach. So slow is better. Even if you can't do as many repetitions, I would rather have 5 really good slow repetitions with good form, repetitions with bad form. So we want to maintain good form at all times. After reverse flies, then we're going to move into our single band exercises. We're going to move the clip down because we want the clip at about elbow level for these. All right, for our first single-handed exercise, we're going to do internal rotation. So I'm going to use my left arm so you can see a little better. You're only the pre-throwing routine, you're only going to use your throwing arm. If you have time, you can do both arms to keep each side balanced and stay strong on both sides. But for your daily pre-throwing routine, I would suggest just using your pitching or throwing arm. So I'm going to use my left so you can see me. Start with your elbow on your side, and then bring your hand to your belly. Back nice and slow, that's 1. And you can bring it back as far as you can while keeping your elbow tucked on your side. You want to feel it touching you there. 2. And you should feel this in the front of your shoulder here. Back nice and slow, and a little bit in the back of your shoulder. There's 3, 4, 5, and so on. And so the next one after internal rotation is external rotation. So again, I'm going to use my right arm now so you can see me, which my right is my throwing arm. External rotation, elbow on your side again. You're going to start out front and now go back. Hold it here for a second, nice and slow. 1. And you should feel this more in the back of your shoulder, pulling as you go back. 2. Hold it. 3, 4, and so on. Next is our elevated internal rotation. So again, I'm going to use my left so you can see my face. And for this one, it's similar to internal rotation, except our arm is elevated. We want to keep this. We want to keep the top of our arm parallel to the ground. So you can hold your elbow up with your other hand if you want. We're going to start here and just go forward. Bring it back nice and slow. 1. Hold it. 2. And you should feel this all in the front and the top of your shoulder and some in the back. Bring it back nice and slow. 3, 4, and so on for the desired number of reps. All right, next is elevated external rotation. So again, you can use your hand to hold your elbow up. Arm should be parallel to the ground, and you're going to go start in the front and go back. This one you will feel in the back of your shoulder. This is a great exercise. You'll definitely feel the burn in this one. And then back nice and slow. 1. Hold it here for a second. Bring it back nice and slow. 2. And notice how slowly I'm doing these. We want to put good intent and focus into each repetition. 3, 4. So we have 2 exercises left. The next one is called reverse throws. And for this one, we're actually going to do the reverse version of the exercise first, because the forward version of this exercise is regular throws, and we're going to move right into throwing anyway, so you want your arm to be ready for that forward motion. So for reverse throws, face the fence. You're going to face like you're throwing it towards the fence. So I'm a righty, so my left leg is forward, right arm back, I'm throwing towards the fence. But it's called reverse throws because we're gonna start forward and go back. And this is to engage all the muscles in the back and to strengthen and stretch our whole back out. So start in the front, chest down, use that momentum with your chest and back while you're bringing the band up. Keep your arms straight the whole way. Hold it here for a second, bring it back nice and slow. 1. Notice how I'm bringing my chest back with my arm, just like I would when I'm throwing, and then it's coming forward with my arm as I come back. 2. Arm straight the whole way, hold it, feel a stretch. 3. 4. So we're down to our last exercise, which is regular throws. Okay, so we're just gonna throw like we are going forward, left foot forward. I'm a righty. Okay, we're gonna use our front arm to point at our target. Same thing, use the momentum from our chest. Tuck in, arm straight. Bring our chest out over our front knee. Hold it, bring it back nice and slow. Slow is key for this one especially because we're gonna feel that stretch all in our back and our side. There's 1 rep. Arm straight, hold it. 2. Use that front arm, pull down, chest out. 3. And 4. So that is our pre-throwing routine. This way we have a consistent pre-throwing warm-up routine, which is objective number 1 for this instructional video. Okay, number 2, we have also learned how to utilize bands to help us as baseball and softball players. And we have activated and engaged the muscles to strengthen and loosen. And for these bands, they have these, and you can get adult versions obviously, but you can also get youth bands. So they have youth Jaeger bands or just youth TheraBands, which are going to be less resistance to make it a little bit easier so we can maintain good form when our youth athletes are utilizing the band. So look for a band based on your athlete's age and strength. That concludes video number 1. Okay, you have a consistent pre-throwing warm-up routine. You're now ready to pick up a baseball, find a partner, get outside, and start hucking. For Masterful Mechanics Baseball, I'm Billy. Peace out.